Wake up, everybody, we got stuff to do. Welcome back to Rusty Wrench Repair. So we're waiting on parts for the 73 again, because yeah, I kinda coulda messed up that repair panel for the floor. With all the work that I had to do on the rockers and everything, I really don't think that was the right panel to finish the floor. Whoops. Not that it's not, I just didn't. I used that inner rocker panel instead of, I probably could have just used that floor panel in place of that, and it probably would have went together a lot smoother. So yeah, I messed up. So I ordered a drop-in floor panel, waiting on that to get here. So yeah, that's the update on the 73. Should go a little easier with that panel, hopefully. But today we're gonna be doing something a little different. Working on a late model, which is, you know, what I used to do for a living, but not my favorite thing to do. This is a 2000 Chevy Impala, 3.8 liter. Needs a radiator. I used to have a car actually identical to this, except for it had the 3400 or 3.4 liter. So there's two different radiators for this car. We got to get the radiator out of this one, see which one it is. I had the parts store order one in, so that they had one in stock. I had them order the other one so that they had them both. I know the guys down there, so they were pretty cool about it. So we'll figure out which one it is, go get the radiator and get it replaced. I'll show you real quick how I determined that it needed a radiator. This is my niece's car, by the way. So my niece told me that she was losing coolant and it was overheating. So I figured it had to be, these 3.8s are notorious for, there's elbows up here under the alternator that break and leak coolant, and surprisingly enough, I was hoping it wasn't that, because I hate doing those things, but luckily enough it wasn't. It's the radiator leaking out of the driver's side over here down underneath. So I have a coolant pressure tester. So you hook that coolant pressure tester to the radiator and put pressure to it, and then if it holds pressure, typically it's a really small leak or there's something else going on, but it quickly evacuated pressure, and coolant was coming out of, like I said, this side of the radiator down there towards the bottom-ish. Couldn't really see exactly where the leak was coming from, but the only thing over here around the radiator that could leak coolant is the radiator. It's not coming from the upper hose or the thermostat, which is over here, or anything like that, so it's really the only thing that can be leaking. We will confirm once we get the radiator out, but that seems to be where it's coming from. So now I'm just going to get all of this stuff off of here. I'll show you what I got going on here. These upper engine mounts or torque mounts need to just take them off here, and then you can usually slide them forward and just flip them up. We'll see how far the engine rolls back there. Gotta take these bars off. I'll probably take the battery out and this air box. We got to be careful though, the PCM is in this air box. And then we'll pull the fans, see what else we got to do here, and then we'll pull the radiator out. Hopefully we don't run into too many snags. I'd like to get this done today, so that's what we're gonna do. Not what I want to be working on. I would rather be working on the 73 or the Thunderbird or something, you know, old, making it run again. But things have been crazy and hectic, so my niece said she needed some help, and I'm always glad to help my family keep their cars on the road and make sure that they are safe and everything like that. So we'll get this done for her, get it knocked out today, and then get back to the 73. Hopefully we'll have parts this week for that. If you look down in here, see there's the PCM right there. So we'll have to kind of push that off to the side, get the rest of this box out of here, and then continue on. Man, is it a crappy day. Rainy and not cold, but, well, not cold for me. It's 50 something right now, which fat guy weather. Feels good out here. It's my favorite time of the year. Looks like I don't know if you can see that or not, all the seeds, and must have been a critter in here at some point. So once we go to put all this back in, we'll have to pull it back forward. This bolt out of this mount here to get them moving, but I had to get them out of the way. All right. Radiator hose off. Get some of this harness out of the way. Okay. Radiator's almost out. I gotta get these transmission line, well, this transmission line out. Where'd my light go? What to do with my light? I don't know. But if you can see that, these are quick disconnect transmission fitting or radiator fittings for the transmission lines for the transmission cooler. So they make these tools. This one lost the roll pin out of it, so I had to improvise and use the cotter pin, but it still works. But you can see it's kind of like crowned here. It's got three, when you put it together, it's got three slots here, here, and here. So basically you put it around the line like this, and then it gets pushed into here. And if you look at that clip, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but you turn it and it pushes that clip up so that it clears this lip and you can pull it out. So that's all I got left is get that line off. It's free. When you're doing a radiator or a clip like that, a lot of times, especially here in Ohio in the Rust Belt, those lines get seized into the fittings, and that sucks because typically you're replacing the lines and the fitting. If the new radiator, if you're replacing the radiator, if it don't come with the new fitting, then they're not always easy to find. There's so much. But these ones look like the first one come out pretty easy. The other one's free in there, so it should come out fairly easy. But that's all I got left to get this radiator out. We'll pull it out. This one is 5/8. I think the options were 5/8 and 5/8 and ½ inch or 5/8 and 1 inch. Not 100% sure which, but it's 5/8, so we'll go grab the radiator and get her put back together. All right, guys, I'll get you guys an update here on where I'm at. I got the radiator out. I actually did get the new one. I got the new one back in real quick. Just had to switch over the coolant level sensor, but it looks like I don't know where that thought was going. Got the coolant level sensor switched over. I thought I'd have to use these fittings, but the new radiator actually came with the fittings and they were correct. I don't know what to do. I'm not going to say anything about it because, well, I'm just not going to say anything about it. The new radiator is back in. Got the lines hooked up. There's that coolant level sensor. I'm feeding the fan wires through now so I can get the fans hooked back up. And then we're going to change the thermostat real quick, which is right down there, right here. And then get it all put back together, get some coolant in it. Really not a bad radiator to do. It's been quite a while. I had one of the, like I said earlier, I had one of these that I had to do the radiator in. And surprisingly enough, over the years, it's the only one that I had to do the radiator in. But it's been a long time, so I didn't really remember. But it's back in there now. Just gotta get everything hooked back up, get the battery back in there, the air box, get some coolant in it, get it bled, get the air bled out of it, and should be good to go. Yeah, it's going a little too well, so I shouldn't have said nothing. Dang it. Now something's definitely gonna go wrong. Sure. Fantastic. Can never just keep my mouth shut. All right, guys, I'll get you in here, show you where I'm at. Got everything put back together. Air box is back in. Got the thermostat changed. Mounts are back in. Right now I'm doing what they call burping the system, or what we always call burping the system, getting the air out, purging the air from the system. Very important, very commonly missed step. You have to get all the air out of the system, because if you get an air pocket in there, one, it moves, and you know, it can move into the radiator, it can move and you overheat, or it can move through the system and you overheat, or it can move into the heater core and you won't have heat. It's a common issue that, you know, people, when they change their thermostats or radiators or water pumps or any part of the cooling system, a lot of people don't know that you have to, you know, purge all the air out of there. These funnels come in handy. This is a no spill funnel, but when you're burping the air out of the system, it's like burping a baby. It's hard to burp a baby when his head is down, right? Because the air travels to the highest point. So when you have a car that's sitting flat and you don't get the point that you're trying to burp the air through, i.e. a no spill funnel that puts the coolant up above the engine and the radiator, if you can't get the point that the air can travel out the highest point, then you're not going to get the air out. It's hard to. So, I mean, I've had to jack the front of cars up to get the air out, just so I could get the radiator a little higher than the engine. But the point where you're trying to get the air to burp out of has to be the highest point, or it won't burp. So, a vehicle to note that was exceptionally hard to get the air out of was the Chevy Trailblazer or GMC Envoy, same truck. They were, for some reason, the hardest to get the air out of the system. I used what we called an airlift, or a vacuum assisted coolant filling system. I'll show you. I think I left it out here. Yeah, right here. That's what Cornwall calls it. A vacuum assist cooling system refiller. Basically, if I can get it open, you use this contraption here. You hook it to the radiator, put this down into a bucket of coolant, and you fill the system with air, and it pulls a vacuum through the whole system. It sucks the air or the hoses shut and basically pulls a vacuum on the entire system. And then when you release that vacuum, and with the levers on the contraption there, it starts to pull coolant through as it lets the vacuum out. So it completely fills the system, and there's no way for there to be air trapped in it. It's a good way also to see and make sure that the system is sealed and you don't have any other leaks, because if it won't hold a vacuum, then it's going to leak somewhere. Say there's something going on to where there's still a leak. So that is nice to use. I don't have any empty buckets because they're all full of junk parts for all these old vehicles, not all these two old vehicles I got. So I just use this. This works really good too, so don't be afraid to use either. That one, the airlift or the vacuum assisted coolant refiller, those are pretty expensive. So, you know, I had that from when I was a tech, but I didn't end up using it. As you can see, the temperature is good. The thermostat did open. She's got really good heat. I mean, roast you out of here heat. It's really good. I did replace the thermostat too. I think I said that. So anytime I do anything in the cooling system, I always change the thermostat. You might as well, especially a lot of these are easy. And if you're putting new parts in there, you're going to be draining the coolant, and then you're going to be putting new coolant in there. It's going to be dragging all the crap that's in there back through it, back through the system. So it's good to have a fresh thermostat in there because it's more than likely got gunk built up in it anyways. And they do get weak over time. So that's about it. Waiting on these. I don't know if the fans will kick on really without driving it, but so far so good. I'm going to fill up the overflow over there, and then she should be good to go. I'm sorry I didn't really film the actual taking the radiator out and all that stuff. I mean, guys, this is a pretty simple one, other than, you know, you gotta take these bars not off, but move them to the side. Take this air box out. Obviously, take these mounts off and let the engine kind of roll back. This bar, the battery, and really to take the battery out and all that stuff is just so you have room to work. But I just wanted to get it done. Me and the family are going on a little 2-day vacation, kinda taking the kids to an indoor kids water park. Let them have some fun. So I wanted to get it done before the weekend was over. The weekend was over, so she can have her car back. But I did think, you know, I did want to explain to you a little bit about burping the air out of the system. And I think I forgot to show you. This right here is a vent, so that you can vent the cooling system too, to get air out. I use that in conjunction with the funnel. So if you, there's two nuts here. This is a 7mm, I believe this is a 10. So if you open this middle one, or the top one, you can see that it allows cooling out. It also allows the air to escape. It's right there above the thermostat. So before the thermostat opens, I like to try to get as much air out of there as I possibly can. That helps the thermostat to open. And then, so she's up to temperature now, got great heat. It's ready to go. So I appreciate you guys watching. I know the content's been kind of scattered a little bit here. I haven't been getting a video out every week. Any of you guys out there that don't do YouTube and stuff like that, it's tough with a full-time job. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes I got too much going on, you know, with the family and working full-time, well, a little more than full-time. So I do apologize. I'm pretty excited about this. It came today. I didn't expect it till next week, but I got another box. That's the drop-in floor pan for the passenger side. So hopefully when we get back this week from our little family vacation, I'm gonna get back on the 73, get that side finished up, and then we'll move on to some other things. I'm gonna try to get the garage all cleaned up. It's a hot mess. So I'll try to get that cleaned up and get it to where I can get in there and work, and we'll start making plans to get that transmission rebuilt. I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's intimidating me. I'm not a transmission guy, never have been, stayed away from them. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So So we'll get it rebuilt, hopefully get it back in here. Anybody got any lines on any parts for these Thunderbirds? It's a 75 Thunderbird with a 460 C6 transmission. They're hard to find parts for. I need a transmission mount, and what they offer at the parts stores ain't it. So if you guys know of anywhere or know of anybody that, you know, has a line on some decent parts for this thing used, I don't care. I'm gonna be looking for some parts here pretty soon. So again, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your guys' support. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like this video and share it. Share it with your friends and family. Make sure they're watching too. I appreciate you guys. Always remember, guys, if you're sitting around, so is your project. See you on the next one.